happening, gang? By the way, quick round of applause for Engineer Steve for always keeping it live up in the Truth Radio Nation. I said applause, Anders. No one can see a fist pump on the radio. There we go. There we go. All right, gang. It's Truth Radio. The only way that you can win at this game is you got to do one thing. Do what your mama told you to do. What's that?
Tell the truth.
Never
You
give
tell
up.
the truth! You tell the truth!
Never give up.
Did you hear?
That's like a Miss America answer, okay? You're going to save world
nothing better
poverty
than
right
the
after that one.
Question mark answer. Yeah.
Gang, that right there is Dr. Larson. That right there is Coach Anders. And them twos togethers is the lowbackfix.com. Okay, so let's blow this up right now. Give this to me like the kindergartner brain and eardrums that I am. What's the low back fix?
So, I guess a little bit of our story and how we started this thing. So I've been helping people, you being one of them. Had a couple people with some serious back injuries, surgeries, etc. Kind of got out of the performance world a little bit and started helping people. And found this sweet system of movement that I was working on and kind of how I was piecing the puzzle together. And a month out from going to our good friend John Cena's house for some serious.
Oh,
see
okay, name
me drop
dropper.
that.
Oh, little John
We were going to lift a bunch of weights, weren't we?
Yes.
But the problem was I super jacked my neck up and I needed help bad because I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And walked into Theresa's office. She literally looked at me, diagnosed me, said, do these 4 things, and realized that there was a massive piece to this healing thing that I didn't know about. And we started rapping, talking about how we can make things better, how we can change people's lives, and here's the combination.
So, and that was at John Cena's house?
Yes.
He lifted a lot more weights that weekend when he was
Good.
there.
Good.
So I was in the Marine Corps. When I got out, I injured my back as well. Asked my sacroiliac joint. Look that up.
What that Facebook Nation?
Yeah, that's like pelvic area.
Yeah.
Injured that. Couldn't walk, actually, for a period of time. Saw a chiropractor, acupuncture, PT, masseuse, the whole works. Did not get better. Even in physical therapy school, did not get better, even with inquiring and getting help from my professors. And got out and was like, I have to figure this out. I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. Met a doctor of physical therapy called Dr. Kelly Starrett. Learned to mobilize. Yeah.
Kelly gets a gong.
Yeah.
Kelly gets a
Dr.
gong.
Kelly Starrett learned how to start to help myself and do maintenance on my own body. What a thought. And started to get better and haven't had any issues since and been moving well. Found San Diego Athletics because I have been going around. I've been to different gyms around San Diego County, around the world actually. Found that San Diego Athletics, Coach Anders, his crew, like very good coaching, very good movement coaching. And I felt like this was my home. I want to be in a good place that teaches good movement. And so working together, we have a good like kind of marriage of skill sets from teaching good movement to the down regulation work I do, kind of the motor control, neuro re-education, big word there, to helping people move better. And we kind of shared the same frustrations with the why, because I get people in my office like, I've seen a chiro for 3 years or massage, I've been getting a massage every month and I'm still not getting better. Well, you know, let's clue in here. You're not getting better because you're not being treated efficiently. You're not being taught how to move well.
And what we really started to learn was create this system. And what happens so much when we get into exercise, training, physical therapy, whatever it is, so many people just jump to like level 3. And what we were talking about earlier with like, what is a personal trainer going to do for you? Are they interested in conditioning, weight loss? We talk to these people that have these back problems, and not one single person gets on the phone or sits down in our office and says, I'd really like to have better abs, or I want to go run a marathon. Or no, they want their lives back. Like, they want to be able to go run and play with their kids. They want to be able to like do the things that they did before they tweaked their back and before that they couldn't move, and they had this massive insecurity about their life. And what we have to do is back the system down like so far. And what we focus on is this, from the training side of things, we just built this program based off of structural balance. Like, how do we develop a brain-body connection so that you're aware that you're doing things, and then we practice this stuff so it's hardwired into our body so that when you go to sit down, you don't have to think, am I sitting correctly? No, we just do it. It's the default pattern that we've wired into our brain, and that's what we do. Now, when most people join a gym, what are they interested in? I want to get stronger. Well, people that have back pain aren't interested in getting stronger. That's an outcome of moving well. That's an outcome of understanding this brain-body connection. These people want to be healthy. So once we've created this brain-body connection, now we can sit there and say, okay, now your hamstrings work. Now your glutes work. How do we build some strength so that we can maintain these positions and these movement patterns over a longer period of time? How do we support our body so that it works and it works for a while? Once we develop some of that strength, then we can start adding a tiny bit of speed into the mix, working on a little bit of power. For some people, that may be jumping, running with your kid. For some people, that's literally standing up and feeling safe about it. Like, how does somebody actually stand up? And that may sound ridiculous, but there's people listening right now that have serious back pain, and they can't stand up without feeling that shooting pain go right down their leg. And that's what we're working on. Like, how can we find a way to create balance, develop strength, and then add a little bit of power, and then we work on that conditioning piece so we can take that out. It's not, can I go run a marathon? No, it's, can we maintain these positions throughout the day? And that's what conditioning means to us.
And I love what you said right there, too, because it feels like the two divergent modalities is either, rest and medicate. Right? We talked about that in the last segment. Or try to go proactive, but proactive probably in exacerbating the same problem that got you there in the first place. Right? Oh, maybe my back kind of hurts, so maybe my back's a little weak, so let me go do some crazy like muscle development stuff. Again, exacerbating the same problem. So I love what I heard you say anyway, is that you sort of pulverize the thing down, you sprinkle the clay back up on the wheel, add some water, go down to the fundamental elements. And then build back up from there, including the down regulation element.
Yes, which is key. So when you have pain, one of two things happen. All the muscles around that area tighten up, and you start to become more tense, right? So your nervous system becomes more sensitive, and so now your pain starts to spread a little bit.
Or it's compensating.
Right, it's compensating, and of course, your movement will naturally compensate.
Right.
Once those sensory receptors talk to your amygdala, okay, your body will compensate. Oh yeah. So here's
someone's ahead, by the way, Anders. Not saying anything right now.
The other thing, though, that will happen is you might experience a lot of swelling and inhibition in muscles. So muscles inhibition that basically shuts different areas of your body down because it's protecting that area. It's telling your body, stop moving, you just jacked it up. Okay, so there's these two defense mechanisms in the body. The swelling obviously is a little more extreme. The guarding is a little more common because of overdoing something or sitting all day and then going to work out and hurting your back, or picking up a 3-ounce pillow and hurting your back, something like that. But here's the thing, so the down regulation piece in combination with these progressive movement, the training plan.
And that's a $10 word. So down regulation quickly is
basically desensitizing the nervous system. It's calming. It's finding how to calm the nervous system down.
And to not address that as part of the heal is a big mistake.
Yes. So you need to have both together.
Right.
So it's kind of getting into that rest digest, turning the muscles off that have been guarding too much, turning the muscles off that don't need to be on all the time. Like your hip flexors, a common thing with people with hurt back is, I have tight hip flexors. My mid back hurts. Well, because it's guarding. They're constantly turned on. Your hip flexor is actually attached to your low back. Like if you look at a skeleton or an anatomy book, it's like those will guard, because if you have back pain, they're going to want to guard. They're going to protect you.
Yeah.
So the key is to learn how to downregulate, turn those muscles off that need to be turned off, turn the ones on that need to be turned on. And that comes with very specific training. And so the cool thing is, in this Low Back Fix program, we give you, in my piece of it, I take you through a series of tests. And because it's not a one size fits all, like not everyone should do the same kind of program. You're going to be testing yourself out, and you'll be tested into different categories based on these tests that I give you day one of the program. So that's kind of cool. It's not like a one size fits all. Some people are too mobile. Some people are less mobile. Some people have less motor control, movement control. Other people have more movement control. So those people go down their own path.
So what I'm hearing is you've almost created like a matrix.
Yes.
Which sort of breaks the whole thing down.
Yes. But very easy to follow, too.
And then that's the baseline.
Yes.
That you then draw the program from. And it's custom.
Yes. Now, the cool thing about this is that it gets people doing it themselves, so it's very empowering, right? The one thing I didn't mention in the earlier segment about passive therapy is they're disempowering. If someone teaches you how to fish, it's so much more empowering than like giving you fish.
You know, and the funny thing about this, honestly, why are you laughing? You think it's funny already?
Yeah, you crushed
Okay.
it.
The funny thing about this is that not only did we just drop a biblical reference, okay, we can just go there.
Is that gonna dong?
We can go there for a second. Yeah, it was a gong, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a gong.
We're passionate about low back pain, that's for sure.
The thing that I love about that is that there is a way that somebody can feel empowered. I'll borrow your own word for a second. Empowered to know that this isn't like one of those things where you just download the thing and it's one size fits all. Like you start with that score matrix thing, right? So, and isn't that part of like the beginning thing?
Yeah. So you're going to take a survey, which we're going to give you a little gift at the end here.
Okay, cool.
You're going to take a survey, and then you're going to do a series of movement tests. And then that's the track. We're going to show you how to go down specific tracks based on how you tested.
And that's at the score. Go ahead, drop that URL.
So it's score.thelowbackfix.com. And you're going to get a complimentary low back fix score.
Yeah.
And based on that and the movement test that you do following that, you will figure out which track you go down.
Yeah, I love that thought. So if I'm coalescing this whole thing, it's one part science and it's one part theory.
Yes.
So if you had an opportunity to go see the last segment, you can check us out on the YouTubes if you didn't. But the call to action for there was to go to truthradio.thelowbackfix.com.
Yes.
That's the big primer. That's the big overarcher. Yeah. That's the let's all start here. Then once we're in the same room, drop the score on them. So that's the score dot score.thelowbackfix.com so that they can do the matrix and find out where they're at. That's the starting point.
Yeah, they get to customize the plan.
Yeah.
Once you get into the plan, you've got all the training stuff brought back down to zero so you can rebuild your body.
We
lay the physical therapy and the mindfulness piece on top of it. So you've got the down regulation, you've got the mobility and stability work, and then you've got a way to rebuild your body all at the same time.
That's Coach Anders, gang. Coach Anders, movement specialist.
There it is.
That's right.
Strength coach. Bald, beautiful, extraordinaire, flanked by the one and only Dr. Larson, author, doctor of physical therapy, Marine. I like warrior chick.
Yeah.
Warrior chicks, badass.
Warrior
You guys,
badass.
thank you so much for dropping some
you.
truth inside Truth Radio.
Woo.
Gang, we got a little, I think it's Boomer Esiason's going to catch us up on a local legend's birthday. You're not going to want to miss that. And when we come back after the break, oh boy, it's going to get intense up in here. How about 3 common financial pitfalls of divorce? Truth Radio. We'll be right back.